त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पता नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dear friends, we were about to read this sixth mantra of this first valli of second adhyaya. We are in the series of mantras which are saying Etad vai tat. Etad vai tat means this indeed is that. This indeed is that means this jiva who is supposed to be in this body mind complex, he is nothing but that Brahman. So that is the meaning of Etad vai tat. This indeed is that. So we have seen a few mantras like that, and we are in that series. In the same series we were reading the sixth mantra, Yah purvam tapaso jatam adhyah purvam ajayata guham pravishya tishtantam yo bhutebhir vyapashyata Etad vai tat. In the last class I read this mantra and then I explained the meaning also. I'll just repeat. So this again, this mantra is equating jiva with Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha, we know, is that cosmic intelligence, that cosmic subtle body. We call it in, say, the first manifestation of that I feeling is that Hiranyagarbha, and that Hiranyagarbha is nothing else but jiva. Why? How are you equating? Because the so-called intelligence of this jiva is nothing but a small infinitesimal part of that intelligence of that cosmic intelligence. So in that cosmic intelligence only all these beings are getting manifested. So that is the reason why you are not a wave. Just as you say that a wave is nothing other than the ocean, you are saying that any being starting from a mosquito to the mighty dinosaur, they are all manifestations of that same Chaitanya. So, and that Chaitanya, that at the cosmic level, at the Vyashti level, it is the individual. Vyashti level means the individual level is that Jiva. At the cosmic level, that is called the Samashti level. At the Samashti level, it is Hiranyagarbha. So, this mantra is equating that Hiranyagarbha with Jiva, or rather Jiva with Hiranyagarbha. And then it is saying, he sees Brahman, who sees Hiranyagarbha, who is of this nature. So, that is how this shloka is running. He is the person who sees Brahman, who sees Hiranyagarbha, who is so and so, and what is that so and so, who is that Hiranyagarbha? Yaha purvam tapaso jatam, tapasaha purvam jatam. Tapasaha means from that tapas, from that jnanatmaka Brahma. Tapas here is referring to the Brahman itself, because jnana lakshanam Brahma. So that from that Brahman, what is the first manifestation that Brahman? What is the manifestation that Brahman? Maya is the manifestation. And within that Maya, the first Jiva who has manifested is that Hiranyagarbha. So that Hiranyagarbha, Tam we have to understand. Tam means him. That Tam in this whole mantra, that Tam is not there. We have to borrow that word. So Purvam Tapaso Jatam. Then who else is that? Yaha Adhyaha Purvam Ajayata. Adhyaha means when compared to waters. When compared to waters, Purvam, earlier, Ajayata, he took birth. He was born. So he took birth, let us say. He manifested in that way. Because in all these things, there is no question of being born by somebody. In the sense that there is no father or mother who are giving birth to a baby. So we should not visualize in that form. It is the first manifestation. Adhyaha Purvam, that is before waters also. Before waters too. He was there. He manifested. Before waters, when we use the word before waters, we have to take the other bhutas, panchabhutas also. Out of these panchabhutas, only waters is mentioned here. And that water is an upalakshanam. That is, it is suggestive of the other four elements too. That is Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jalam, Prithvi, all these five. Out of five, this Jalam only is mentioned. So other 4 have to be, they are also suggested here. So which means that this Hiranyagarbha is somebody who is born before these 5 elements. Adbhyah purvam ajayata. Then not only that, guham pravishya tishthantam. So he is the one who has entered the buddhi guha. He has entered the buddhi guha of every being. Buddhi guha, let us not think that in our own human mind he has entered. Right from the time, the mind of a mosquito, let us say, take the mosquito, or take the, say, bacteria. So even in that mind of that bacteria, the same intelligence is there. Guham pravishya tishthantam. Pravishya means having entered. Tishthantam, that is the one who is stationed there. Tishtati is one who is stationed there. Then yo bhutebhihi. Yo bhutebhihi means yaha bhutais saha. Bhutebhihi, I explained to you, this is the old, this is the Vedic say declension. Bhutaihi. Bhutaihi, bhutena bhutabhyam bhutaihi is the trutiya vibhakti. So instead of saying bhutaihi, the Veda says bhutebhihi. Like that mantra I explained in the last class, Bhadram karne vishrunayama deva. What is that? Bhadram karne vishrunayama deva bhadram pasyem akshabhiryajatraha akshabhihi karnebhihi. So that sort of usage is found in the Vedas. So here bhutebhihi means bhutais saha. Bhutais saha tishtantam yaha pashyati. Bhutais saha tishtantam. So he is there in this buddhi guha along with these panchabhutas. Along with these panchabhutas means all these panchabhutas have constituted the body. And in that body, along with all these, say this so-called gross body, along with that gross body, he is sitting in that buddhi guha. So tam yaha pashyati. So that sort of Hiranyagarbha, the one who sees, yah pashyati, so that is it. Yo bhutebhihi vyapashyata means apashyat. What is apashyat? He saw. Then again in Veda I said, sometimes the tenses, they say they are mixed up. He saw means he sees. Yaha pashyati. Yaha pashyati means yah pashyati sa pashyati. The one who sees, he sees the right thing. He sees in the right manner. The one who sees Hiranyagarbha sitting in the buddhi guha of every being, and then he realizes as his own self, that Hiranyagarbha is realized as his own self. So he is the man who sees the truth. Yah pashyati sa pashyati. That line also usually commonly we get that in Vedanta. Yah pashyati sa pashyati means one who sees like this is seeing correctly. So that is what is the thing. So is this mantra clear? Guham pravishya tishtantam yo bhutebhihi. That means bhutais saha. Bhutais saha. What is this? Guham pravishya tishtantam. Bhutais saha. Guham pravishya tishtantam means along with these bodies, along with these bhutas which are there in the form of this gross body, this gentleman, Hiranyagarbha, is in this buddhi guha, say buddhi guha. So, and one who sees that, he is the man who sees correctly. So that is the meaning here. So let us read the Bhashyam. Yah kaschin mumukshuhu purvam prathamam tapasaha jnanadi lakshanat brahmanaha ityetat jatam utpannam hiranyagarbham kim apekshya purvam ityaha adbhyah purvam apsahitebhyah panchabhutebhyah na kevalabhyah adbhyah ityabhiprayah. Okay, we'll stop here. Yah kaschit mumukshuhu. So that particular mumukshu, one rare mumukshu. Mumukshu is again a rarity, isn't it? Yah kaschit mumukshuhu. Mumukshu is one who has mumuksha is mumukshu. Mumuksha is moksha ichha. That is desire for liberation. One who is having desire for liberation is a mumukshu. Yah kaschit mumukshuhu purvam prathamam. Purvam is initially, in the beginning. Then what happened in the beginning? Tapasaha jnanadi lakshanat brahmanaha. The word tapasaha is in Shashti Vibhakti. Panchami Vibhakti. Tapasaha jatam. From that tapas. That tapas, what exactly is that tapas? Jnanadi Lakshanat Brahmanaha. This Brahma, who is characterized by this the thing called entity called Jnana. Brahma, we say Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. So that Jnana Lakshanat Brahmanaha Jatam. So tapas is something which is involving, which involves Jnanam only. So Jnana Lakshanat Brahmanaha Ityetat. So it means that. Then Jatam Utpannam Hiranyagarbham. So that Hiranyagarbha, from that great ocean of consciousness which is called, say, Jnanam, called Brahma, this particular chunk of Jnanam, it develops an I feeling. So that chunk of knowledge, that chunk of Jnanam which develops an I feeling is called Hiranyagarbha. And from that Hiranyagarbha, again another infinitesimal part is the human being. Another infinitesimal part who is also having this body-mind complex, and then who feels I. So who develops an ego of his own, starting from a mosquito. Every animal is, every say being is having an ego, isn't it? So starting from a mosquito, all these things which are infinitesimal parts of that Hiranyagarbha, and that Hiranyagarbha is that first block of that particular chunk of consciousness which developed a sense of ego, I feeling. So that is the thing. Ityeta jatam utpannam hiranyagarbham. Then kimapekshya purvam. Kimapekshya means with reference to what? In comparison with what? Purvam, when you say that purvam ajayata, he, in the beginning he, say he emerged or manifested. With reference to what? In the beginning means with reference to what? Kim apekshya. Apeksha is that reference, the point of reference. Kim apekshya. Then adbhyaha purvam. Adbhyaha purvam is apsahitebhyaha panchabhutebhyaha. Apsahitebhyaha means including that up means water, including the water, the panchabhutas. So this Hiranyagarbha is a manifestation even prior to the manifestation of these five elements. So that is it. Na kevalabhyaha adhyaha ityabhiprayaha. Not merely. Na kevalabhyaha means not merely adhyaha, not merely waters, but it also includes all other five elements. Then ajayata utpannaha yaha tam prathamajam devadi shariranyutpadya sarva praniguham hridayakasham pravishya tishtantam shabdadin upalabhamanam bhutebhihi bhutaihi karyakarana lakshanaihi saha tishtantam yo vyapashyata yah pashyati ityetat. Okay, utpannaha. So ajayata utpannaha. Ajayata means he was born or he manifested. Utpannaha yaha tam. That prathamajam. Prathamaja means one who is the first manifestation. Prathamaja, the first appearance, the first being. At that prathama being, devadi sharirani utpadya. This point we have to note. Devadi sharirani utpadya. So that line, what is the importance of that word? Devadi Sharira, that means all the so-called gods and all these divine forms, they form part and parcel of that Hiranyagarbha alone. Because whether we say some Vishnu, whether you say Ganesha, whether you say Shiva, whether you say any other god, any other deity of any religion, all these things, they are of the nature of Jnanam only. They are of the nature of existence, consciousness, and of course infinitude is not there. Infinitude, if it is there, it becomes Brahma. So these are all finite beings only. Whatever God form you visualize, it is a finite being only, except the Supreme Brahman. All other things which you visualize are manifestations at that Maya level only. So this we have been discussing in almost every class. Any manifestation is in that Hiranyagarbha level only. So at that cosmic level, there are certain we should not call them people. There are certain cosmic functions which we are calling by the name Vishnu, Shiva, all these things. Vishnu, a cosmic function called maintenance or sthiti. Brahma, a cosmic function called creation. Rudra, a cosmic function called, that is resolving all these things and then again recycling and seeing that again there is another Srushti takes place. So these are certain cosmic functions. So all these things, Indra, Varuna, all these functions, They are all nothing but appearances in that, say, Hiranyagarbha. So that is the meaning of this thing. Devadi Sharirani Utpadya. So all these Deva Shariras, they are all Upadhi. All, just as a mosquito is an Upadhi for the same consciousness, Deva Sharira also is an Upadhi for the same consciousness. Devas, of course, they do not have a gross body. They are supposed to have only a subtle body. Only the human beings and all animals, only which are born, these things we do have a gross body and a subtle body. But the Devas and Devas, they only have a subtle body. So that is it. Devadi Sharirani Utpadya. Then Sarva Prani Guham Hrudayakasham Pravishya. Sarva Prani Guham. This Guha, we know, is that Hrudaya Akasha. Hrudaya does not mean this blood pumping heart. Hrudaya in Vedanta refers to Buddhi Guha. Buddhi, that is the seat of intelligence. Hrudaya Guha, Hrudaya refers to the seat of intelligence and not to the seat which is pumping out blood. Hrudaya Akasham Pravishya Tishthantam. Tishthantam means what is he doing there? Shabdadin Upalabhamanam. All these Shabdadin Upalabhamanam means our Antahkarana is nothing but a small Upadhi for that Hiranyagarbha only. And through this Upadhi, you are, whatever you are seeing, actually it is Hiranyagarbha who is seeing, isn't it? Actually what you are seeing, what you are talking, what you are smelling, what you are experiencing by all the 5 Indriyas, it is nothing but an experience in that Hiranyagarbha only. Because of the Hiranyagarbha consciousness only, your Antahkarana and your body-mind complex is functioning. So all these things, in a way, it is he who is experiencing. So that is why it is, the Shruti is saying, Shabdadin Upalabhamanam. Upalabhamanam means one who is enjoying. Upalabhate, one who is enjoying. The one who is enjoying all these Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all these sensory say, experiences or pleasures, all these things are being experienced by the same Hiranyagarbha. Shabdadin Upalabhamanam Bhutebhihi Bhutaihi Saha. What are these Bhuta? Bhutas means Karya Karana Lakshanaihi. So we have this body which is a Karya, and then Karanas are also there. And this body is the Karyam of these Panchabhutas only. Karyam means that which is coming out, that which is the cause are the Panchabhutas. The cause for this body, formation of this body are the Panchabhutas. And from that Panchabhutas, from Sattvic element, the mind and say the sense organs come. The Rajasa element, what is this Karmendriyas, they come. And from the Tamasa aspect, all other dull things like flesh, blood, and then muscles and bones and all these things, they come from the Tamasa aspect. So, from the Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas of these Panchabhutas only, the body-mind complex is born, isn't it? So, the body-mind complex is a Karyam. Karanam means a tool. What are these tools? We have got this hand, foot and all these things, these Karmendriyas, they are the tools. So, this is called the Sanghata. Sanghata means it is a complex. So, this is a sort of assemblage. So, Karya Karana Lakshana is Saha Tishthantam. So, this thing, this Hiranyagarbha is the same intelligence which is sitting or which is there in the Buddhi Guha of every being. Saha Tishthantam. Yo Vyapashyata. Yo Vyapashyata means one who sees, or one who saw. Literally it means V plus Apashyata. V is an Upasarga. V means Visheshena, Samyak. So one who sees, who enjoys it completely or fully, Vyapashyata. That means Pashyati. Ityarthaha. So that past tense has to be converted as present tense. Pashyati ityetat. Ya evam pashyati. Ya evam pashyati. Sa etadeva pashyati. Sa etadeva pashyati. Yat tat prakrutam brahma. Yat tat prakrutam brahma. So one who sees like that, one who sees Hiranyagarbha in this manner, or one who realizes Hiranyagarbha in this manner, sa etadeva pashyati yat tat prakrutam brahma. Prakrutam brahma means that Brahma which is now under the discussion, which is the topic for discussion. The one who knows Hiranyagarbha in that manner, he realizes this Brahma. So tat prakrutam Brahma. What is that tat? Tat is that prakrutam Brahma, the subject matter under discussion. So such a man is going to realize. So that is the meaning. So identify yourself with that cosmic intelligence. You leave alone your stupid, limited, delimited intelligence and identify yourself with that cosmic intelligence. And this is exactly what we do in Upasana. Upasana, what do we do? Devata Upasana. There are two types of Upasanas. One Upasana is asking for boons. So that is one type of Upasana. That is, you of course, Upasana is always done with Bheda Buddhi only. Of course, Aham Graha Upasana is something different. Upasana is usually done with a Bheda Buddhi. Bheda Buddhi means I am different from the deity. And the most primary thing is like what we do every day in our puja. Like every day you go to a temple, you ask for certain things, and then you write your korika, your wish, on some stone which is there in that temple. There is a huge slab in Tirupati temple, you must have seen. So on that you are supposed to write your desires, so that those desires, they will be recorded there, and then in a digital form, and then Lord will fulfill those things. So anyway, so this is what we do every day. But then say this, what was I telling? Identifying this. So this Upasana, I was telling about this Upasana. Upasana is, the other form of Upasana is you imagining yourself as that particular God form. Visualizing yourself that there is no difference between you and, suppose you are a Upasaka of Saraswati. You and, say there is no difference between you and that God form. There is no difference between you and other God form called Ganesha. There is no difference between another God form called Vishnu. So that is Upasana is that way. That is Aham Graha Upasana. I am that, I am that. So these are all, as I said, or as we discussed, I did not say, the Vedanta says that all these things, all these God forms are mere manifestation in a larger thing called Hiranyagarbha, isn't it? And that Hiranyagarbha is something, that Loka is supposed to be the Satya Loka, Hiranyagarbha Loka. And you identify yourself with that cosmic intelligence. So that is what it says. So that is why when we say Bhur Bhuvasuvaha, the Sapta Vyahurtayaha, Bhuhu Bhuvaha Suvaha Mahaha Janaha Tapaha Satyam. That last step is that Satyam. Before you go to that, say, Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. So this Satya Loka, this so-called Hiranyagarbha Loka is the highest thing, isn't it? So you identify yourself with that cosmic intelligence. So that is what this, the meaning of this mantra. Then Kincha. Kincha means moreover. The next sloka, mantra also is almost in the same way. Let us read the mantra. Ya pranena sambhavati.
Ya pranena sambhavati.
Aditirdevatamayi.
Aditirdevatamayi.
Guham pravishyatishtantim.
Guham pravishyatishtantim.
Ya bhutebhirvyajayata.
Ya bhutebhirvyajayata.
Etadvaitat.
Etadvaitat.
So here you are referring, the mantra is referring to one, say, form or one manifestation called Aditi. Have you heard the name Aditi? Who is that Aditi? Yeah, Aditi, in that story you must have heard. There is a Prajapati called Kashyapa Prajapati, and that Kashyapa Prajapati has two wives. One is Aditi and one is Aditi. Diti is the mother of all, say, all these demons. We should not devils actually. What we say, demons or asuras, let us say. And then Aditi is the mother of all divine forms. So that is what we know. So that is a Purana. That is not Vedanta. Purana is again a sort of simplification of Vedanta for the common man. So this is what we have to very clearly understand. That is the first level we have to understand. Purana is a simplification of Vedanta for the common man. Then in that Purana, sometimes you take that symbolic meaning only, and then you should not draw fine logic, and then you should not apply too much logic to Purana, because these are all certain transcendental, say, or metaphysical speculations, where too much of logic should not be applied to these stories. So Aditi is one, say, form, let us say. Kashyapa also, again the meaning is wonderful meaning. Pashyati iti Kashyapaha. Pashyakaha, Pashyati iti Pashyakaha, Pashyaka eva Kashyapaha. So that is the definition given for Kashyapa in what is called Niruktam. Pashyati iti Pashyakaha. That Pashyaka, by word, say, change of, say, letters, it becomes Kashyapaha. So that one who sees. So sees means one who has that intelligence. So that Kashyapa symbolizes that intelligence. Then Kashyapa. Then Aditi. Aditi again is again we have to see Adanat Aditihi. There is one other dhatu. What is the meaning of other? Yesterday also I told you. Other means to eat. Ad, Eid, you remember Eid? Ad, eat, Eid, all same dhatus. You see, Sanskrit is very close with several English words. Sanskrit also is close with Persian language. Persian is one of the Indo-European languages. Many Sanskrit words are found in Persian and vice versa. Ad, then Shir we say. Persian they say Kheer. Then what is this we say? Namas. They say namaz. So Persian language has so many Sanskrit words. These are all related languages. Anyway, so that is that apart. Aditi. Aditi means Adanat Aditihi. Shankaracharya is going to say this eating. Atti iti Aditi. So this Aditi, okay, I will come to that later when we see the Bhashyam. The meaning of this mantra is like this. It is telling about one Devata, a female, reference to a female named Aditi. And is this Aditi different from Hiranyagarbha? It is again difficult to say. From this mantra, Shankaracharya is also saying, Ya pranena Hiranyagarbha rupena sambhavati. So she is appearing in the form of Hiranyagarbha, he says. So Hiranyagarbha is the same as Aditi. Whatever is Hiranyagarbha also is a manifestation in that Brahman only. This Aditi can be called Moola Prakriti, that is what some people say. One commentator has said, we can refer, you call it a Moola Prakriti or whether it is the same as Hiranyagarbha, it doesn't matter. Here the mantra is referring to this Sarva Devatamayi, this Aditi who is the mother of all gods. And then if you know the story of Vamana, Vamana's mother is Aditi only. And all these gods, Devas, all these things like Indra, Varuna, all these people, they were all born to that Aditi only. So that is why they are called Aditeyaha. Aditi's sons are called Aditeyaha. All the gods are referred to as Aditeyaha. So like that, so this Aditi is referred to in this mantra. Let us see the mantra. Ya means she who pranena sambhavati. So pranena sambhavati means in the form of Hiranyagarbha. Prana, that prana shakti is that Hiranyagarbha. Prana shakti and also that Chit shakti, both are there in that. Ya pranena, in the form of Hiranyagarbha sambhavati. Sambhavati Aditihi. Sambhavati means she appears. Then Aditihi Devatamayi. Devatamayi means she is the source of all divine forms. She is the mother of all gods. So she is comprising all deities. Our Gambhirananda has translated it as comprising of all deities. We can call it comprising of all deities, or she is the source of all divine forms, we can call it. Then Devatamayi. Then Guham Pravishya Tishtantim. This lady also is there in that Buddhi Guha. So which means there is no difference between that Hiranyagarbha or Aditi. Ultimately, when you are saying that there is only one reality which is appearing as so many manifestations, isn't it? Ultimately, when you say Advaita, what is it? You are talking about a non-dual entity. That say only Sat and Chit, that non-dual entity, which is appearing in so many forms, starting from a Jiva to Jiva at the individual level, to that Samasti level, you call it Hiranyagarbha, you call it Aditi, in whatever manner you want to call it. And above that, you call it Brahma, the pure consciousness which has nothing to do with all these things. Then, Guham Pravishya Tishtantim, then again, Ya Bhutebhihi Vyajayata. Ya, she who, Bhutebhihi means again Bhutaihi. Bhutebhihi is Bhutaihi, along with these beings, not our own beings, does not refer to us. Bhutaihi is Pancha Bhutaihi, that is along with this, say Prithivyapastejo Vairakasha, along with those Bhuta. Vyajayata. Vyajayata means originated, took birth. Vyajayata, that is originated or took birth. So here this mantra says, he who sees Brahman in the form of Aditi. Here also that Etadvaitat is there. He who sees Brahman in the form of that Aditi, who is like this, so he sees the truth. So that is the overall structure of the mantra. He who sees Brahman, he sees Brahman, who sees Aditi, who is of this nature. So that is the structure. So, ya pranena sambhavati. Pranena means in the form of Hiranyagarbha. Sambhavati, she is born. Aditihi, Devatamayi. She is of the. She is. You can say comprising of all deities, or she is the source of all divine forms. Then Guham Pravishya Tishthantim, one who is in the Buddhi Guha. Then Ya Bhutebhihi Vyajayata. So that Aditi, say, who is the great mother of all gods. So that is our source of all gods. So she, or you can call it Mula Prakriti. So she, one who knows that, he realizes Brahman. That is it. Let us read the Bhashya. Is the mantra clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then Ya
या
Sarva Devatamayi
सर्वदेवतामयी
Sarva Devatatmika
देवतात्मिका
Devatatmika Pranena Hiranyagarbha Rupena
प्राणेन हिरण्यगर्भरूपेण
Parasmat Brahmanaha Sambhavati.
परस्मात् ब्रह्मणः सम्भवति.
Okay. Yeah, that she who Sarva Devatamayi. So this is the picture. Yeah, Sarva Devatamayi is in the mantra also. So she is of the form of all the gods. Or in other words, all the god forms are manifestations in that only. You can call it Mula Prakriti, you call it Hiranyagarbha. So it doesn't, gender does not matter. Again in say Veda, the gender is mixed up here and there. You call it Devata, you call it Devaha. You use masculine gender, feminine gender, and also neuter gender for the same divine form. It doesn't matter. So gender doesn't matter. Then again, tense also, as we see, Vyajayata, Apashyata. So past and present, they are also mixed up now and then. So like that. So Sarva Devatatmika Pranena Hiranyagarbha Rupena. So this Pranena, that is in the form of that Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha Rupena means in the form of that Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha is somebody who is a combination of both intelligence and also Prana Shakti. Intelligence is the Prajna which is required for the sake of creation of this universe, and that Prana Shakti which is supposed to give the sustain the body. That is the Sat and Chit, both are that Chit Shakti and Prana Shakti, which are manifesting as Prajna and Prana. So these things, both the things are combined in that Hiranyagarbha, who is nothing else, or which is nothing other than this Aditi only. Hiranyagarbha Rupena Parasmat Brahmanaha Sambhavati. And where is she is emerging from? Parasmat Brahmanaha Sambhavati. Parasmat Brahmana is again in Panchami Vibhakti. From that supreme Brahman. Sambhavati means manifests from that supreme Brahman only this Aditi or Hiranyagarbha manifests. As I said, we should not apply too much logic into this. What is the connection between Aditi and Hiranyagarbha? Say, are they husband and wife? They are not mentioned as husband and wife. Shankaracharya also is not mentioning as husband and wife. He says both are one and the same. Both, Shankaracharya is saying both are one and the same. Parasmat Brahmana Sambhavati. Then what is the meaning of Aditi? He says, Shabdadinam Adanad Aditihi. Let us read this. Shabdadinam Adanad Aditihi Tam Purvavat Guham Pravishya Tishthantim Aditim Tameva Vishinashti Ya Bhutebhihi Bhutais Samanvita Vyajayata Utpanna Ityetat. Okay. So, Shabdadinam Adanat Aditihi. So, she is the experiencer of all these Shabdas, Varsha, Rupa, Rasagandha. In the earlier mantra also we saw Guham Pravishya Tishthantam. We saw that line Shabdadinam Shabdadin Upalabhamanam. We saw that line Shabdadin Upalabhamanam. That which is experiencing all these Shabdas, Varsha, Rupa with reference to Hiranyagarbha. Here again the mantra says, the Bhashyam says Shabdadinam Adanat Aditihi. Adanam means eating. Ad we should not forget. Adanat Aditihi. That which is eating. Atti, Annam also is another beautiful word which you have to know. Annam, do you know the meaning of Annam? Adyate Atticha Bhutani Tasmad Annam Taduchyate. That is what Taittiriya Upanishad says. Adyate Atticha Bhutani. That which eats and that which gets eaten. So, as we know, in the universe, everything is dependent on everything else. You are the annam for somebody, you are also eating something, you are also in turn annam for something else. So, adyate atticha, you get consumed. You consume and you also get consumed. So, that is the cycle of life. While eating also, you are getting consumed. So, that is it. Then Aditi, Shabdadinam Adanat Aditihi. So the meaning of Aditi is that which is experiencer of all these five sensory experiences. Then Tam, that particular form, Purvavat. Purvavat means as earlier, as we saw earlier. Guham Pravishya Tishtantim. That again, that Aditi also is in that Buddhi Guha only. Then Tameva Visinashti. The same Aditi is being elaborated. Visinashti means distinguishes. Visinashti means distinguishes. He is distinguishing by, the mantra is distinguishing by saying, Ya bhutebhihi means bhutais saha. Bhutais saha samanvita. Bhutais samanvita means along with the bhutas, along with the, or associated with these five elements. Vyajayata, utpanna. So that Aditi also is utpanna along with the Panchabhutas. Hiranyagarbha also is Vyajayata along with the Panchabhutas. It does not mean that they are husband and wife. Purana may visualize it as this Kashyapa and Aditi. Purana can visualize it in that manner. But then Vedanta, in Vedanta, when we come to Vedanta, we should not bring up such relationships. Vedanta only talks about one reality which is appearing in different forms. That one reality called Brahman, in that manifestation called Maya, and in that Hiranyagarbha or Aditi, you could call it whatever manner, and you can't bring Purana into Vedanta. You can take Vedanta into Purana. You not only can, but we have to. We have to take Vedanta into Purana, but you can't bring Purana into Vedanta. So that is it. Is it clear? Bhutais saha vyajayata. So that is, she originated or utpanna ityetat. Let us read the next mantra. Kincha. Kincha means moreover or likewise. Aranyor nihito jata veda.
Aranyornihito jata veda.
Garbhaiva subhruto garbhini bhihi.
Garbhaiva subhruto garbhini bhihi.
Dive diva idyo jagruvadbhihi.
Dive diva idyo jagruvadbhihi.
Havishmadbhir manushyebhiragnihi.
Havishmadbhir manushyebhiragnihi.
Etadvaitat.
Etadvaitat.
So here again, so earlier we saw what is that Hiranyagarbha, we saw this Aditi. In this thing we are seeing Agni. Agni again in different forms we are seeing at different levels. Agni, this particular mantra is referring to two types of Agni. Mantra Bhashya particularly is referring to two types of Agni. Agni which is normally used in the fire ritual. We know that in this Indian tradition, Agni is a very, very integral part of every human being. In fact, there is one shloka from one famous, I think one Smriti only. Agnir Devo Dvijatinam Muninam Hrudi Daivatam. I think I told this mantra earlier, shloka earlier also. Agnihi Devo Dvijatinam Muninam Hrudi Daivatam Pratima Sthula Buddhinam Sarvatra Viditatmanam. When you talk about who is the God, or who is the ultimate, who is the, not ultimate form, who is the God for people, Agnihi Devaha Dvijatinam. For all these Dvijatis means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya. That means the whole of society, for the whole of society, Agnihi Devaha. So because these people, they were supposed to worship Agni. I told the story of Pandavas when they were going to the forest, they also carried their Agnis. And when they went underground, that 1 year Ajnatavasa, they entrusted those fires to their Kula Guru, Dhaumya, and then went underground, that Ajnatavasa, for 1 year. So like that, everybody was supposed to maintain fire. So that was maybe historically or anthropologically, we do not know the reason, because that appears to be the Agni was something which was rarity in olden days. Nowadays you have a matchbox, and then the moment you want it, you have got a cigarette lighter, you have got a matchbox and all that. Earlier we did not have all these things. So probably everybody in a very pure form, he prepared his own Agni and then he was worshipping say deities. So that may be one reason. So Agni Devaha Dvijatinam. For all these Dvijatis, Agni is the Deva. Then of course that shloka meaning is Muninam Hrudi Daivatam. For the people who do Mananam, the Deva is in themselves, in their his own heart. Then Pratima Sthula Buddhinam. Sthula Buddhi. For some people who are having that gross mind, gross thinking, let us say, or crude thinking, Pratima, therefore they will need an idol. Then Sarvatra Viditatmanam, for a Jnani, everywhere it, say Brahman is there. So that is what that mantra says. So why I told that was Agni is an integral part in say in the Indian say life. And we have also come across these Ahidagnis, the people who maintain those three types of fire. What is that fire? Garhapatyagni, Ahavaniyagni and Dakshinagni, those three types of Agnis which were being maintained. And we also saw how now, of course, in fact, we wanted to make a head count of people who are still doing that Agni Chayanam. There are hardly about 20-30 people in the whole of Andhra Pradesh. so that this particular thing is almost extinct. This Agni maintenance, Agni Chayanam and all these things, it is almost extinct. So maybe a few years ago this mantra would have made a great sense to those people. But for us who are almost cut off from that tradition, we only realize, oh, this is what our people used to do. This is what my grandfather used to do. And of course we are cut off from that. But anyway, we let us know the philosophical purport of this mantra. So this mantra says, Aranyoha Nihito Jataveda. We are referring to Jataveda, who is Agni. The meaning of Jataveda, you must have heard that mantra. Jataveda se sunavama somamarati yato nidahati vedaha. So that thing. That Jataveda, there the meaning given by Vidyaranya, that Vidyaranya Bhashyam, the meaning given for that Jataveda is Vedamsi. Jatani yasmat soyam Jatavedaha. Vedamsi means Vedanani Jnanani. All types of, all the information or all the knowledge about various rituals, they are all born from him. Vedamsi, not pure Jnanam of Brahma Jnanam. Veda, this Jnanam relating to rituals or procedures relating to worship of various gods. So those are Jnanani. Vedamsi Jnanani Utpannani Jatani Yasmat Saha Ayam Jata Vedaha. So Jata Veda means one from whom all the knowledge about rituals has emerged. He is Jata Veda. One who is the custodian of all that knowledge. Agni is supposed to be the custodian of all that knowledge. So that is why Agni is supposed to be the Purohita for gods. I think I told you earlier. Agni is supposed to be the Purohita for gods. Purohita means one who is kept in front. When the gods go to war, they keep Agni in front. So, and then Agni marches ahead and then the gods go. So again, gods going to war, all these things we have to take symbolically. Not as though somebody is standing with a weapon and all that. Not like that. So Agni is the person who also conveys all the havis to various gods. Agni is supposed to be the transporter, let us say. He is supposed to be the transporter who transports all your whatever offering you do to the deities. So that this is the significance of Agni in our system. And then how was this Agni produced? By rubbing this Arani. You know this Arani Mathanam? Arani. There are two, this is why I said we are totally cut off. Luckily I have seen at least how this Arani is operated. They take a flat stick, a flat and in that a small cup like thing is made. So there are two sticks which are taken. One is in the form of a pestle. So suppose you take this as a pestle and then you sharpen one end, or you taper it like this, in this form, and then the other, you are able to see in the camera, okay. The other is a flat surface, and in that flat surface you make a cup. You make a cup like thing, and then one person holds it like this. This is actually two sticks only, and two sticks of that Jami tree, Shami Vruksham, you know. Shami Vruksham is supposed to be having a lot of heat in it. So that particular wood is taken. All woods will not have the same amount of fire. For example, tamarind tree, there's a lot of fire in it. Then Shami tree has a lot of fire in it. So they have identified some trees which have a lot of fire in it. So that is why this Shami, say one thing is made, one stick is in the form of a pestle, another is in the form of a plate, that a small cup like thing, and here it is put like this, one person is holding like this so that it doesn't shake. And you know this churning of milk. So you tie a rope around this and then you draw this. You just pull here, front way, with both hands, do like this. And then this turns, this rotates in this manner, clockwise, anti-clockwise, it keeps on rotating. And because of this friction, some heat is produced. And that this is called Uttara Arani. Uttara Arani means that stick which is there on top, Uttara. This is called Adhara Arani. Adhara means lower. Adhara is lower, then Uttara is on top of it. So in fact, the Guru-Shishya relationship also, Acharya Purva Rupam Anteva Syuttara Rupam, that also Taittiriya Upanishad says, Acharya is Purva Rupam. Acharya, the teacher, is like this Uttara Arani. Then this Shishya is supposed to be this Adhara Arani, who is supposed to be the flat platform. And in that platform, a small cup is made, a small cup. So it is like something like a pestle. It is kept like this. One person is holding it so that it doesn't shake, and the other person is just holding it with his say knees so that it doesn't move. And then he does this sort of thing with with one rope which is tied around it, and two ends he catches, and then he does like this so that this moves in a circular, this clockwise, anti-clockwise form in a fast manner, and it produces. In fact, I have seen long ago in my childhood, and then they put some small cotton here so that the cotton catches fire, and from that cotton you transfer it to some say coconut fiber or something like that. You take the coconut fiber again catches fire fast, and then from that coconut fiber you transfer it to coal and things like that. So that is how Agni was produced. That was supposed to be the most sacred, very, very pious way of preparing say fire, because there were no matchsticks in those days. There was no cigarette lighter. So maybe I am telling in a very light vein, but then they take it and they prepare the Agni in such a very serious manner. Even today, if you go to some place where they are doing this yajna, so they bring these aranis made of the same stick, Shami stick, and then they do that Agni Manthan, and then two people are required. One chap for holding it tight, and then other chap for holding the other say stick, and also for rotating the thing. So the two people are required to produce it. So they produce. So one is called Uttara Arani and the other is Adhara Arani. So in these two Aranis there is Agni. So that is what is the first word. Aranyor Nihito Jata Veda. So this Jata Vedaha is the word. It is a singular word, not plural. Jata Vedaha is a singular word, not Vedaha. Veda, it doesn't mean plural. Agni, Jata Vedaha, Aranyoha Nihitaha. So in these two Aranis, Arani is the word. Aranyoha, this is Saptami. Saptami Dvitiya, Dvivachanam. Aranyoho Nihitaha. Nihitaha means that which is hidden. Aranyoha Nihitaha Jata Vedaha. Then how is he hidden? Garbhaiva Subhruto Garbhinibhihi. Garbhinibhihi Subhrutaha Garbhaha Iva. That is Garbha Iva. Garbha is like the fetus. Garbha means the fetus. Like fetus, Subhrutaha means well protected or well carried, well born, B-O-R-N-E, born. Well born or well protected by Garbhinibhihi, by pregnant women. So this chap, this Agni, is staying in these two Arani, Uttara Arani and Adhara Arani, just like say a Garbha, just like that fetus. Agni is compared to a fetus. This is a sort of Upama Alankara, we can say. So this Agni is something like a fetus who is well protected by the Garbhini, well protected by the Garbhinis. So Garbhini also, the man and woman relationship is very much required for formation of this Agni, for this fetus. So something similar here, you can refer to ordinary Agni which is produced for the sake of a yajna, And you can also refer to Yagni, say Jnanagni, which is produced between the teacher and the taught, teacher and the student. Teacher is the Uttararani and the student is the Adhararani. And Mathanam, Pravachanam is the Mathanam. Pravachanam is the Mathanam, the process, the churning. Churning process is called Pravachanam. And then the ignition of intelligence in the student's mind is that Agni, Jnana Agni production is there in the student's mind. And then Saha Viryam Karavavahi. And then that is supposed to produce some synergy between the teacher and the student. Saha Viryam Karavavahi means let us produce synergy. Let what we study be, more synergetic. So that is the meaning. So the second line is Dive Dive Yidyaha. Dive Dive means every day. Dive Dive. Diva means day. Dive Dive Yidyaha. So in fact, say there one commentator says Dive Dive for the word Diva. What is the etymological meaning? Dyotanat Diva. Diva Dyotane. Diva means bright. Dyotana, Prakasham, enlightening. Dive Dive, for that he says in every cognition, in every buddhi vritti. Dive Dive, that is Pratibodha Viditam, in every cognition, in every intelligence, in every buddhi vritti. Idyaha. Idyaha means he is the one who is praised. And whatever cognition, whatever experience, whatever knowledge we get is because of that thing only, because of the reflection of that cosmic intelligence in us. So that is it. Idyaha means one who is praiseworthy, one who has to be praised. Idyaha. Jagruvadbhihi havishmadbhihi manush. Okay, I'm likely to get a sneeze. Jagruvadbhihi havishmadbhihi manushyebhihi agnihi. So this Agni is Idyaha, who deserves praise, by whom? Jagruvadbhihi havishmadbhihi manushyebhihi. Manushyebhihi means manushyehi, by people. What type of people? Jagruvadbhihi, those who are very alert. Jagrat. What is Jagrat? Jagrat means Jagrat avastha, in a totally wakeful state. That is, who are totally mindful. Who are Jagruvadbhihi means not only awake, but those who are having Shraddha, you are attentive, let us say. Attentive is a better word. Jagruvadbhihi, attentive. So, very, very attentive people. Havishmadbhihi, those who are ready with all these havish, those who are ready with all the types of havishes. So, two visheshanas, two adjectives are used, maybe for two different types of people, because in the Bhashyam, Shankaracharya is referring to two types of people. One is the ritualist who is physically offering various havis into the fire. The other is the type of yogi whom we have seen in Gita 6th chapter Dhyana Yoga. We have seen that yogi where he is in that process of Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, having attained a lot of self-control. He has attained all these Shamadama, that all types of that spiritual wealth, Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, all these things he has attained. So that sort of gentleman is referred to here. So that is why there are two adjectives mentioned here. One is Jagruvadbhihi, Havishmadbhihi. Jagruvadbhihi reference to the attentive, devout people who are in that Dhyana Yoga category. Havishmadbhihi can refer to the people who are in this ritualist category. Jagruvadbhihi, Havishmadbhihi, Manushyebhihi, Etad Vaitat, Agnihi. So this particular Agni, we are referring to two types of Agni in this mantra. One is which is referring to Yagnikas, ritualists. The other for the sake of, with reference to those who are in the Dhyana path. Those who are in the Dhyana path, those who are in the, and who are next to that Dhyana Agni or Tapogni has to graduate to the level of Jnana Agni, isn't it? So we refer to three types of Agnis. One is Karma, that is Yajnika. Yajna is a Karma, where all these Rutviks are sitting, and then there is a Yajamana, there are some Rutviks, there is a purpose for that Yajna, and then all people they start reciting mantras, and then that is that Yajna, where the Yajamana gives so many offerings into that Agni. So that is a physical Agni. Then there is a Tapogni. Tapogni means tapas. Tapas is say sitting in meditation, that Dhyana Agni, that same thing which we saw in that Dhyana Yoga of 6th chapter of Gita. So that Dhyana Yoga, that again is a process of Agni only, because it is a process of self-purification. Dhyana is a process of self-purification only, isn't it? You have come out through this Karma Yoga and then graduated to this Dhyana Yoga. And in that Dhyana Yoga, what is it, the initial thing you have done? All this spiritual wealth has to be acquired. That Nididhyasana, sorry, that Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, you are throwing away your Raga, Dvesha, everything. You are actually offering them as Ahutis. In that Tapogni, what are the offerings? Your Raga, Dvesha, all your feelings, all your ego, all those stupid things you are offering there, isn't it? So that is the type of Tapogni. And that Tapogni, when coupled with Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, that Tapogni itself is not enough. That Tapogni, you may become a highly purified soul, but then you will not realize, you will not have self-realization. Realization comes only through the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, isn't it? So that is the third level called Jnanagni. And Gita refers to that word several times. Jnanagni Dagdha Karmanam Tamahu Panditam Buddhaha, something like that. Jnanagni it refers. So Jnana is something like a fire which say gives that light, number one. Number two, it dispels all these stupid other things. All other ignorance and all other activities it dispels. So that is why Jnanagni it says. So is this mantra clear?
Yes.
Aranyor Nihito Jataveda, this Jataveda, this fire which is there hidden in between these two Aranis, and then Garbhaiva Subhruto Garbhinibihi, it is like a fetus which is well protected by the pregnant women. Then Dive Yidyaha, so this man is supposed to be he should be worshipped every day, or in other words, it also means every cognition. Dive means every cognition. It is he who is responsible for every cognition. Then Jagruvadbhihi, Havishmadbhihi, Manushyebihi. Two types of people are mentioned here. Those who are very attentive, devout, and then who are in that Tapogni. And then Havishmadbhihi, those who are physically possessing all those Havis. Those who are having Havis are called Havishmantaha. So Havishmadbhihi is that Trutriya Bahuvachanam. Havishmadbhihi, Manushyebihi, Agnihi. So is it okay?
Yes.
Let us read this Bhashyam. Yo adhiyajnaha,
Yo adhiyajnaha,
uttara adhararanyoho,
adhararanyo,
nihitaha sthitaha, jataveda agnihi, punaha sarvahavisham bhokta, adhyatmam cha, yogibhihi, garbha iva garbhinibhihi, antarvatnibhihi, agarhitannapana, bhojanadina, yatha garbha subhrutaha, sushtu samyak bhrutaha, loka iva. We'll stop here because the sentence, it is some little bit is there. Ithameva rutvigbihi yogibhischa subhruta ityetat. Okay, so he is giving one word called adhiyajna. Adhiyajna is not a complicated word. Usually whenever we get these words adhiyajna, adhiloka, adhijyotisha, we feel confused. Adhi is only an upasarga. Adhi means relating to. Adhyatma, what is the meaning of adhyatma? Relating to self. Adhi plus atma. Adhyatma dukkha. Suppose I have some cold, cough and fever or something like that. That is adhyatma dukkha. Klesha, let us say. Adhyatma, relating to one's self. Of course, physical body, I am referring to not the supreme Atma. I am referring to Atma means self at a lower level. Adhyatma. We know about three types of dukkha: adhidaivika, adhibhautika, adhyatmika. So that way, adhyatma. Adhi yajna means relating to yajna. So this adhi, whenever you get this word adhi, we should not be afraid. Adhi means relating to. Adhi yajna means relating to yajna. Adhi yajna. Uttara adhararanyoho nihitaha sthitaha. So that which is there, I explained these two things. This is stationed. Sthitaha means stationed. Between nihitaha. Nihitaha means hidden. Then uttara adhararanyoho. It is there hidden between this upper arani and lower arani. Arani is that stick. one in the form of a pestle and the other is in the form of a plate where there is a small cup like thing, and in that cup this is put and then this you are churning. So the churning process is called mathanam. Mathanam. Sthitah jataveda agnihi punah sarvahavisham bhokta. So he is the eater of all havis. He is the person who consumes all havis, who also transports to various deities and all that. So that is the meaning. Then adhyatma level. What is that adhyatma level? As I said, adhiyajna is at the level of yajna. Adhyatma level means at the level of person, at a personal level. Adhyatma, you can note it as at the personal level. At the personal level, yogi bhihi, by these yogis, yogi bhihi is again trutiya bahuvachanam, yogi bhihi, then garbhaiva garbhini bhihi antarvatni bhihi. Garbhini is the same thing as antarvatni. Antarvatni means one who is carrying someone else in the womb is called antarvatni. Antarvatni bhihi. Then how is it well protected? Agarhita anna pana bhojanadina yatha garbha subhrutah. If the time is over, I think this requires some little bit of explanation. Agarhita anna pana bhojanadina I will take in the next class. We'll stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.